Hello and welcome to my channel. We are back again. This is Igbo Area TV. We had to react to a comment. The other time we talked about how the Ika Igbo has demanded a referendum before 1966, even before Biafra Nigeria War. We talked about how they demanded referendum, and we presented some documents, and we still have loads of documents to present for people to see. These are not documents written today. These are documents written prior to the war. But somebody tried to debunk us without facts. Let me read the comment of the person, as you can see on the screen. The person wrote, "This is forgery. The acronym Ika Ibo first came when Abacha was a commander in Abo in 1969. Any document before then with that nomenclature is a forgery. A lie is a lie no matter how often it is done. Ika are and will never be called Ika Ibo. This is the nonsense by this low life from wherever he's coming. Now he knows who be low life. He knows who he's calling low life. So we are here to further bring more proofs to quench what this person is saying. This person is not well informed. And our work here is to also not just to present videos, but to educate people. And that is why we are here again. And he said the name Ika Igbo only started existing when Abacha was a commander. I think that was during the war, 1969. And we were telling him before 1969. And in fact, we are going to backdate it this time. This video is going to be explosive and short. Please follow us. Once again, welcome back to Igbo Area TV. Some say the name Ika Igbo, like he said, is a forgery. That it only started in 1969 when Abacha was a commander in Abo. They say Ika are not Igbo, and that anyone who says so is lying. But is this true, or it is another attempt to rewrite our history? Let us look at the facts together. We are back again. We are loaded. Number one, like I told you, this channel also lectures. It is beyond just doing videos. We lecture. And I hope this person will see this video. Number one, the claim we are debunking now. You know, let's start again. Assume that we are starting again. Recently, a comment on our comment section said that Ika Igbo was never used before 1969, that Abacha introduced the term during the Nigerian Civil War, or the Nigerian Biafra War, that any document before 1969 using Ika Igbo must be a forgery, and that Ika Igbo people are not Igbo and never will be. That is what you saw on that particular snapshot. You know, at first it might sound bold, but history is not built on emotions. It is built on evidence. And when we check the records, the truth speaks for itself. Number two, what the books actually say. The very first mention of Ika Igbo, listen carefully please, the very first mention of Ika Igbo in print goes back almost 100 years ago, long before Abacha ever became a soldier. Long before Abacha became a soldier. In 1926, P.A. Talbot, you can see the name on the screen, in his book, The People of Southern Nigeria, Talbot used the term Ika Igbo. That means as early as 1926, British colonial officials already described the people of Abo and surrounding areas as part of Igbo world. Now and again, in 1931, H.L. Butcher, by 1931, an academic dissertation was written titled The Ika Igbo People of the Benin Province, Southern Nigeria. This was in Cambridge University, England. This was 38 years before 1969 that this particular person is arguing about. So if the Ika Igbo was a forgery, how come Cambridge was studying it in 1931? Now and again, in 1967, Forde and Jones, in their book, The Igbo and Ibibio Speaking People of Southeastern Nigeria, the authors placed Ika among the Western Igbo groups alongside Aniocha, Oshimili, and Ukwuani. This was a year before 1969. In 1968, Kay Williamson, the famous Nigerian linguist Kay Williamson, this one is in Nigeria, classified Ika as an Igboid dialect. She studied the language and concluded that while it has Bini influence, it is firmly within the Igboid family. Like we told you in some videos, earlier videos, we told you, yes, Bini ruled over some of this area. So there is Bini influence, but their language is Igboid language. Their language belonged to the Igboid family. All these records existed before Nigerian Civil War and long before Abacha set foot in Abo. So like the guy said, it was until Abacha set foot as a commander during the war in 1969. Now let's talk about that Abacha in 1969. That is the number 3. What about Abacha in 1969? Yes, it is true that Abacha was an officer during the war. By 1969, he was already a commander. But there is no record, not in history books, not in military files, not in academic studies, that Abacha ever coined the name Ika Igbo. It wasn't Abacha that coined it. So this story that Abacha invented Ika Igbo in 1969 is just a myth. It has no foundation. It is like building a house on sand. Now, number 4, the real story of Ika identity. The Ika people live mainly in present-day Delta State, Abo, Umunede, Owa, and others. That is where the Ika people are found. Linguistically, their dialect is Igboid. Culturally, they share many customs with neighboring Igbo groups. Now, historically, colonial officers grouped them with Igbo-speaking people as early as the 1920s. At the same time, Ika also have the Bini influence, like we said earlier. They are a bridge between the Igbo and Bini cultures. But to deny their Igbo connection entirely is to deny history. Now, number 5 in our lecture, why these arguments arise? Why then do some people reject the term Ika Igbo? The answer is political and emotional. The Civil War left many scares. We know that. Some groups in the Midwest wanted to distance themselves from the East to avoid suspicion. Over time, some leaders preferred to emphasize differences rather than connection. And today, social media gives room for strong statements, even when the facts don't support them, like this one by this particular person. And there's things like that they are spreading. But the truth is always truth, whether we accept it or not. The name Ika Igbo was in books decades before Abacha even wore that army uniform. A call to unity. My brothers and sisters, history should not be used as a weapon of division. The Ika are our people, and their place in the Igbo family is recorded in books as far as 1926. In that video, I was saying prior to the Nigeria Biafra War. And when I saw an opposition, somebody trying to counter what I said let me go to the archives and bring the main facts, which is, I had to backdate it. So, please note, denying doesn't change the truth. It only creates more confusion for our children. And this video is not just for to reply the person who is trying to counter what we said in the other video, but Ika people should know their history. Ika people should know their history. All of these names I mentioned and their books, go and study. Let your children know about this. If you lose your identity, your history, your language, whatsoever, you don't exist. You are just existing as a human. In this channel, we don't paint anything. We tell you as it is. So we must learn to embrace the fullness of our history. The parts that unite us and the parts that show our diversity. Ika are Ika, but they are also Igboid. That is the truth. So in rounding up, the next time someone tells you that Ika Igbo was invented in 1969, remind them of Talbot in 1926, Butcher in 1931, Forde and Jones in 1967, and Kay Williamson in 1968. These are all before 1969 that the person claimed. History is there for us, and the records are clear. Again, on Igbo Area TV, we stand for the truth, we stand for unity, we stand for justice in history. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so that more of our people will know the truth, who we are. Until next time, remain blessed. I'm Azuka OJ. Bye-bye for now.